Hi, I'm Lisa from Evolution Power Yoga, here with my business partner Julie Mathers and our friends from Lancaster newspapers, Irene and Mandy. We'll start with sun salutations, the beginning of many styles of yoga practice, and they're said to be a whole complete practice in one series of movements. So let's get started. We'll begin in child's pose. So child's pose is a posture where your toes are together, your knees are open, settle your hips back to your heels, and stretch your arms forward on your mat. Even here at this very simple beginning pose, you can customize this. I don't really like resting my head on the floor. It hurts my neck. So as you see Julie doing, I fold my arms and bring my forehead to my forearms. Customize this in any way that feels right in your body. To tolerate something really not quite right, you would want to realign a pose. So this is just our beginning posture, also a pose to come back to when you just want to start again in the middle of a lot of movement. So breath is first. Take a deep breath in and exhale through your mouth. A deep breath in. Once your lungs are full, just hold it for a beat, and then a long, slow, steady breath out. Cultivate or create this kind of breathing throughout these movements that we'll do in this practice today. Slow, steady, deep, rhythmic breathing. You can just put your focus on listening to the sound and the quality of your breathing. On your next inhale, lift your body up into a pose called downward facing dog. You'll look like an upside down letter V, so hands flat at the front of your mat, feet at the back of your mat, your heels probably won't touch. Lift your hips high into the air. So in order to get the benefit of the hamstring stretch from this pose, you'll just soften your knees and lift your hips way up and back. There you go. Okay, you can keep your hands settled and your spine stretching. It's really common when you're first learning this pose to keep all of the weight in your shoulders, but walk your feet back from your hands a little bit more. That's it. Soften your knees, keep your hands where they are, and just stretch your hips back like you're going to sit on the back wall of the room. Now let's just take 2 more breaths here. A deep breath in, keep your ribs up in your body, and a long breath out, long hips from your fingertips to your hips. 1 more here, a deep breath in, and a long breath out. Then walk your hands or your feet up to your hands, line them up to be hip width distance and parallel. Then take a breath in, blow all of the air out. When you do that, lift your belly button way up to the sky, wrap your tailbone down the backs of your legs, drop your head, and hang with your arms. Each time you exhale, you can be just lifting your belly a little higher and wrapping your tail down the back of your legs. Perfect. Let your knees be just a little bit soft. When you do that, you'll feel the weight balance out through the 4 corners of your feet. And then like a breeze came rushing through the room, just let your arms dangle in small little circles as they hang here. Just tiny little dangling circles. Let your shoulders open up. Then you can fold your arms and hold on to your opposite elbow. And I love to straighten one leg and bend the opposite leg and stretch my body over to the side. So if my right leg is bending, I'll move my body toward the right so that there's a nice stretch down the lower back side of my left body. So side to side, try each side out, swinging your torso one way, bending and straightening your knees, and you create stretching right into the area of your lower back that feels good as a warm-up. Then hang in the center. Put your hands on your thighs, and with 3 breaths, moving on the exhales, come rolling up to standing. Think about rolling your pelvis up to an upright position, then all the way through your body. Open your collarbones and just unwind your neck as the last thing you do. That's it. The quality of rolling up and rolling down alone can start opening your back. So let's do sun salutation A. As you inhale, just cross your arms and reach them up and overhead and look up to the ceiling. As you exhale, fold down to the floor with soft knees and a long flat back, all the way down. When you inhale, lift up halfway and just look a few feet in front of you. When you exhale, step your body back to a high push-up position, a plank. You can stay in the high plank or just drop your knees to the ground, and then from your knees all the way up to the crown of your head, a long straight line so your body is a plank. Then look forward, take a breath in, and as you exhale, lower all the way down to your belly on the mat. Shoulders broadening. As your torso lowers, bring the whole thing down. Rest down. Then move your hands back so that they're under your elbows rather than your shoulders. Take a deep breath in. Blow all of the air out through your mouth, and that will engage your core. Then inhale, just lift your head and your chest up off of the mat, not particularly high. Stay here. This is a cobra pose. Imagine that your hands are pressing down into the mat and sliding back. As you create that motion, your collarbones will start to expand, and your upper back will start to open up as your chest moves forward to the front of the room. Keep working your collarbones open, broad, your shoulders back. Height's not the goal, length is the goal. A malleability and opening in your upper back. Take another breath in, and exhale, relax all the way back down to the floor. A different option in this part of the sun salutation is to come all the way into straight arms. It's called upward facing dog. So all the way up on your next inhale, straighten your arms so that your collarbones stay broad, or just choose to stay with the cobra, then press back into downward facing dog, the shape of the upside down letter V. If this was a little too much on your shoulders, an option is this, to drop your knees to the ground, keep your hands reaching far in front of you and your hips high, and let your chest come down to the ground. You might need to walk your hands a little further. This is called a puppy pose. Not quite the full downward dog, but a puppy pose can keep you active as you're getting more adjusted to the practice. Once we've been back here in this pose for just a few breaths, we'll move to the front of the mat and start all over again. So take a deep breath in, exhale through your mouth, then look up at your hands. You can walk to your hands or jump up to your hands, but move to the front of your mat. With an inhale, lift up halfway, look about 3 feet in front of you, long flat back. Exhale, fold down. Soft knees, hands on your hips. This time a flat back hinge. Come all the way up to standing. Stand up tall and reach your arms overhead all the way up, arms reaching up. And exhale, fold to the floor. Hinge right back down. When you inhale, lift up halfway. Your breath is guiding your movements. When you exhale, move back to the high plank. Knees on the ground or knees in the air, lower to your belly or just to a low plank. Then cobra pose or upward facing dog. You have your choice. That's it, Mandy. You can choose the cobra if you'd like. Move to downward facing dog. You'd take 3 breaths to rest here. You also have the option of the puppy pose. One more breath in and a long breath out. Look to your hands. Jump or step up to your hands. We'll now do sun salutation B. First, let's finish the A. Lift up halfway and exhale, fold down. This is how it will be different now. Squat back like you're reaching to sit in a chair, and then your arms, they can reach to the upper front corner of the room. Then fold to the floor as you exhale. Halfway lift as you breathe in. Look forward just 3 feet in front of you. High push-up to low push-up. You can step back or jump back. You can use your knees. Then cobra or upward facing dog. Collarbones broad. Move to downward facing dog. From downward dog, you'll step your right foot forward between your hands. If you need to scoop your foot up and scoot it forward with your hand, that works fine. Back foot flat. You can turn your back foot flat on the ground. Arms overhead. This pose is Warrior One. It's a deep forward lunge. The action of your back foot pressing into the ground is what will give you power to adjust the pose in your front leg, in your pelvis, and in your waist. Then for the last breath, look to the ceiling and straighten your elbows, your wrists, your fingertips. And then as you exhale, hands on the floor, step back to the high plank or knees on the ground, go to the low plank or your whole body on the ground, then cobra or upward facing dog. That's it. Move back to downward facing dog. The left side, step your left foot forward between your hands and place your back foot flat on the floor, arms overhead. There you go. So it would be, as a beginner, common to just take a small step. So once you get a little accustomed to moving forward and back, take a little bit of a bigger step. That's it, Irene. And your back leg, you can take it back a little further and then also out to the side. So bring this right foot over to here. If you look down at your own feet then, you'd see that you're no longer standing on a tightrope, but more it's as though your feet were both on the side rails of a train track. Now you have the opportunity for one last breath. Look up and reach to the ceiling, and then hands to the floor. High push-up to low push-up. This low push-up is called chaturanga in the language of yoga, cobra or upward facing dog. Move back into downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, you can drop your knees to the ground and move to child's pose. So knees open wide, hips to your heels, arms forward. Child's pose is a great way to start class and to finish class.